Alright, so we got a new project that has been going on forever. I'm excited to start this one. It's been a year sitting here waiting to get started on this one, but it's a 1968 Charger RT. It has a 440 in it. So it's just a 440. It's nothing special. The car is in good shape, but the engine is hurt. There's something wrong with the engine. I think the lifter back there, either the cam lobe is worn out or lifter's collapsed or something. So we're going to take the engine out, take it apart and see what we got. Now I don't know, we might build this one or we might do something else. I can't disclose nothing yet, but we will see what happens. So should be some cool things with this car regardless if we rebuild this one or if the new transplant goes in. But again, I can't say nothing yet, but hopefully, I hope it goes through. It's just a 4-speed. We're actually going to take and possibly put a T56 in it. Now we need to take it apart, get the engine out of it, see what kind of, surprises we have inside. So let's get started. Alright, so now I'm going to drain the coolant, the oil, the transmission, and get all the fluids out of it. And yeah, start disconnecting everything. This is going to make a mess. It's going to hit the subframe and splash everywhere. Oh God. Oh, look at that. Huh? How do you like that? What did I tell you? It's going to make an absolute mess. Jesus. Now, how do you catch that? Huh? Oh my God. I think the bucket's too small. Now I have to clean this up. Uno momento, por favor. Alright, well, anyways, made a mess and cleaned it up. It's all clean now. So I guess the good news is the floor is clean now because I never cleaned the floor. I'm going to drain the oil. Hopefully I can do this without making a mess. So, okay. So that looks like water. Jesus, that's bad. That's actually really bad. That's really bad. That smells like pure fuel. And if you look at that oil is almost like, look at that. It's like water. And the car is cold actually. It hasn't been cranked up in 3 days. And it's quite cold in the garage. And that actually smells like nothing, absolutely nothing but fuel. Like it's not even oil. So, at least it'll burn good in the heater. Okay, so I got the exhaust out of it. I got the drive shaft out of it. I'm going to put it down next and try to take the headers off. Because if I don't get the headers off, I don't know if I'll be able to get all the bell housing bolts and stuff. But I also don't know if I can get the headers out without taking the engine out with it. So we'll see. So well, my plan was to take the headers off And then I ended up taking the radiator and the heater hoses and the engine loom and everything else off. I got the power steering pump off. So now, after all that, I'm going to take the headers off now, and I hope I can get them out and get them past the side of the chassis and in between the engine. I'm not too sure, but I'll try it anyways. Hold on a second. Okay, got the driver's side out. The passenger side wasn't so bad. I just loosened it, turned the wheel so the arm was out of the way, and it fell out. This one, I had to drop the header to get to the starter, then put the header back up, then take out the manual lever for the clutch, and I was able to get it out, but it wasn't so easy. Alright, so we took the hood off. I'm going to take the bell housing bolts that I can get to up top here out, and then we'll put it up, take the rest of the bell housing bolts off, take the transmission off, and then yeah, put it back down, pull the engine out. So. Alright, so I got the engine out. Now I just need to get it on the engine stand, get it in the engine room, take it apart, see what's wrong with it. You know, hopefully we don't find too much damage inside, but with the way it was running, I don't know. I think it's something's wrong with it, but I could be wrong. You know, you never know until you open it up. So anyways, we'll get it on the engine stand now. Alright, so we got the 440 out the charger. We're going to take it apart and see what's wrong. It had a bad misfire, but wasn't a spark plug or ignition problem. It's kind of like a worn out cam lobe or a worn out lifter, collapsed lifter, I don't know. So anyways, we'll get this taken apart. Regardless, he wants to rebuild it, or like I had said previous, might be an engine swap that we've been discussing, but it's not finalized yet. So anyways, we'll get this apart and see what we find inside. We're going to take the rocker covers off and see what we... I'll take this one off. I thought I was going to have to pry them off, but they actually just fell off. Alright, well, nothing yet, but I'll get the intake off of it and get the rocker arms off of it and see what we find, but I don't see nothing yet. I thought maybe if it was that one feels a bit something wrong there. Yeah, anyways, so I'll take the intake off, get the rockers off of it, and we'll see what else we come up with. Alright, so I got the rockers off, I got the lifters, the cam out. I don't see anything yet which would detect the noise that we hear, but I'll take the heads off. I don't know, maybe I'll find something down below, but the only other thing I can think of is maybe it's a lifter collapsing. So I don't know, I can't push them in with my finger, but I'll have to check them all and make sure. But so far, nothing really obvious. So. Alright, so we got the 440 apart. Took everything apart, and initially I didn't see anything. Lifters were fine, cams fine, main bearings, rod bearings. I knew it wouldn't be main bearings or rod bearings, but you never know. So, you know, heads, valves, everything looked fine. So obviously, I mean, there's a noise in the engine, so I mean, I have to find out what it is. So anyways, I'll show you what I found. When I first took the rocker bars off, I took them off as one complete unit. I put them on the table. I kind of glanced at them, didn't notice anything, but I'll show you what I found. So basically, if you look here, the rocker arm, so these rockers, they slide on. One rocker slides on, you have a spacer, and then the next rocker slides on. You have a bolt that then pushes down on these rockers, which then the push rod pushes up and the valve pushes up. So it's very simple. At the bottom you have a oil feed, which then goes in that groove and feeds the rockers, splashes everywhere. And on number 4, I don't know if you can see down there, but number 4 cam is which goes through the block, which then feeds through the bolts on this to feed this rocker bar. So unlike a conventional Ford or a Chevy where oil pressure travels through the push rod, this system works a bit different. But anyways, besides all that, if you look, this was bolted down, and obviously if there's pressure on the rocker, then, oh Jesus, sorry guys, obviously the sides here wouldn't touch, so that's why you don't have 4 lines here. So anyways, blah blah blah. So if you look at this side, see, you can see there's actually wear patterns on the top. So when I went to go look at it, I said, why is there holes up on this side and not on this side? And what happened was the rocker bar was put in upside down. I never I never noticed it. Sometimes, you know yourself, it's the simplest little things and you don't notice it until you open your eyes. But that's what happened. So that, if you look at the wear pattern, and here, that was pressing down on that, and it wasn't lubricating. It was actually spraying up on the rocker cover, or it was spraying up on the valve cover, which obviously was creating, I would assume, some sort of lubrication, but not enough. And that's why when the engine got hot, and you know, that's when the noise would come into it. So that's pretty much it. Somebody, whoever built this engine last, put this in upside down. It doesn't surprise me too much, because if you look at the great quality of crank balancing, like, you know, you can see somebody just cut V's out of it, I don't know, and then you can see they grinded it and cut it more here. So anyways, usually when you balance a crank, you drill it out and you put lead weights in it to achieve. You can see here as well, this is some. So anyways, yeah, the crank balancing is yeah, that's spectacular. So anyways, that's basically what happened. It didn't matter about taking the engine apart anyways, because the customer, he wants to get more power out of it. We were talking about going stroker. It's going to get probably alloy heads and fuel injection and stuff anyways. There was a discussion about possibly putting a different engine in the car, doing an engine swap. I have to discuss that with him. I need to basically go over everything now and price what it's going to cost to, you know, get the power he wants out of this engine, and possibly to do the engine swap of the other engine discussed, and go from there. So anyways, yeah, that's the 440 apart. Need to get, you know, price lists together and stuff and see what happens. But I'm excited about this build. I mean, it's a 68 Charger. Who wouldn't be excited about that? Like, you know, I am a big Chevy guy, but I do love Mopars. Actually, at this age, I kind of like them all. I think they all have their own characteristics that are, you know, interesting. But I'll always be a Chevy guy till I die. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.